Hi guys, it's Sheila Shimmers. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are reviewing a new foundation. This is actually a drugstore one. It's a Maybelline Dream Urban Cover foundation. It's supposed to be a full coverage one with some SPF on it. So I'm super excited because I don't know, it just seems really cool. I've seen a couple of people reviewing it. They really love it. I've seen some pictures on Instagram, and this actually looks pretty good on almost all skin types. So I'm super excited. I'm super pumped. So we're going to be doing a wear test today. I'm going to be letting you guys know how it wears throughout the day. So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe below, like this video, and let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So like I said, this is the bottle right here. It comes in 16 shades. And I got this one from CVS. It may be at your local drugstore. I know Target has it, Ulta. You can find Maybelline pretty much anywhere. So it does retail for $10.99. It says that it's a first full coverage protective makeup that achieves a lightweight and breathable finish. It has SPF 50 to protect the skin from UVA and UVB light, enriched with antioxidants to protect against pollution, and it's supposed to even the skin tone, cover imperfections. It says that it's best to apply with your fingertips, a beauty sponge, or a makeup brush. It's full coverage, obviously it's liquid, and like I said, it comes in 16 shades. I chose the shade 128 Warm Nude. I am usually a 220 in Maybelline, but I just saw Juicy Jazz, I think is her name. She reviewed it and she used the shade 220, and I know I'm always much just lighter on the spectrum than she is, so I was like, okay, I may have to go a little bit lighter. As far as packaging, it does have this little cap right here. So when you open it up, it does have a little squeezy tube. Not my favorite for foundations, but I feel like this way you can just get out all the products and it doesn't really bother me, I guess. It comes with 1 fluid ounce, and with that said, let's just go ahead and try this baby out. So before we get started, I do want to test it out. I'm just taking a little bit of this. It's very liquidy. I'm just going to give you guys a shade swatch of how it looks like. This is shade 128, and I think it's going to be a good match unless it blends out to be any darker. I don't know. But it feels very liquidy. It actually feels like it's really easy to blend out, so I have some hope. So I'm going to go ahead and use a brush on the left side of my face and then use a beauty sponge for the right side. So like I said, it's very liquidy. I'm just going to try to put it there. Like this. This is all I'm going to be using on the left side, and I feel like that's a lot of product. It should be. So we're just going to see. So far, really easy to blend. It has kind of a smell. I don't really know what it smells like, but I don't think I love that smell. It smells like a dirty sock, really. That's what it smells like. But as far as coverage, I have to say, this looks really skin-like. I'm really surprised of how it looks. It definitely has some shine to it because of the SPF, but I think it's I would say that it's kind of like a velvety matte. I didn't really read on Target's website what it said about the finish, but it's definitely, so far, it's definitely a medium coverage. I feel like it did cover a lot though. You can definitely still see my redness right here peeking through, and you can kind of see my blemishes a little bit, so I feel like I could probably build it up if I wanted to. So let's just go ahead and do that on this side because I want you guys to see how it looks full coverage versus no makeup. So I'm going to be applying just the same thing on this side. Actually, a little bit less because I feel like we don't need that much. I'm just going to be applying this much, and I feel like maybe that's like a pump and a half, equivalent of a pump and a half. And I'm going to be just concentrating this on that area on my cheeks where I felt like I needed the most coverage. Alright, so I feel like we covered it a little bit, but I still see my redness right there, and I still see those pimples right there. So maybe it's just not building up really well. I guess you just get that coverage when you first set it, and that's pretty much where you're at. So I would probably go with a little heavier application next time and see if that gives me any more coverage. I don't know. But I'm really loving the finish so far. I don't think it's applying very evenly either because right here I kind of have some little spots that don't have it, and my brush is just not blending it out well for some reason. This is my face with no makeup on, and this is my face with the foundation. I really would like the finish. I feel like this looks really nice. It's very comfortable. You can barely feel it on your skin. So that's really good. It's definitely an everyday foundation and it's super affordable. So I don't know. So far, I really like it. I hope this wears out well throughout the day. I'm going to be putting a little bit of this on the sponge. I guess I used just the same amount that I've initially used on the other side. And I'm just going to start blending this out over here. So the beauty sponge definitely absorbed some of that product because I already kind of ran out and I don't feel like I didn't even get to my forehead like I did on the other side. So I'm just going to be applying a little bit more. Yes, you can definitely get a lot further with the brush side because you can tell right there how this is looking very matte also. You can tell right there how this is looking very matte. It's definitely accentuating my dryness a little bit. So I feel like I like the brush application just a little bit better. And I'm using a lot of product. I feel like I'm still not there. I'm going to go back in with this much. I don't really know. And then I'm just going to try to build it up the same as the other side. This one definitely has more of a matte finish on the sponge side. The brush side was giving me kind of like a velvety, not glowy, but just a little natural. This side, I don't see any shine or anything. It's just really matte. I feel like the shade match was really good. I feel like 128 definitely fit me well. I'm glad I went with that one and not 220 because it would have been a little bit too warm. I didn't feel like it oxidized or anything. It's definitely the true color, so that's good. I feel like 16 shades, it's kind of odd for Maybelline. I feel like I always have more shades than that. I might be the only one that feels that way, but I don't know. It was kind of hard to see which ones. I like the fact that you can kind of see your shade right here, and I would say it kind of matches. Just, yeah, I would say it matches. I would definitely prefer the brush side better than this one, but I don't think neither of them are looking bad. I think this is actually pretty decent, but like I said, you can't really build this up too much. So I would say that it's not a full coverage foundation. I would call it probably a medium, but I feel like once we put our concealer on, everything is going to look just a little bit better and cohesive. I'm going to be using this e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer over top of it, and this one is pretty light, so I hope it doesn't take me to I hope I don't look like a ghost, but I've been kind of liking this concealer. I tried it out, I feel like for my last video, and it was pretty good. I feel like e.l.f. has some really like nice products. Alright, so I'm going to be blending this out with my beauty sponge. The only thing I've noticed with this concealer is that where you initially place it, that is exactly where it's going to stay. So you have to be really careful to like not drag. I mean, you shouldn't drag with any concealers, but I feel like there are a lot of them where you can get away with doing that and it doesn't look streaky or anything, but this one is going to, pick up whatever product you have underneath and it's going to make it look very patchy and dry and streaky. Alright, so there you have it. I have my powder and my concealer on and I feel like it's looking pretty good. I don't feel like I need any more coverage and I feel like my redness right here kind of went down a little bit, if that makes any sense. I didn't apply really any concealer on that area and I didn't cover up the blemishes, but now that I have concealer on my eyes, kind of even out my skin tone and it just doesn't look as bad, the areas where I had a little bit stuff peeking through. That really doesn't bother me. It's kind of a personal preference where you like your coverage to be. I am more comfortable with just a light coverage, and I would say right now it looks pretty medium to full. So yeah, I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back to give you guys my thoughts. Makeup is on and this is honestly not too shabby. I feel like this actually looks pretty good. It's been a while since I bought a Maybelline foundation just because they tend to break me out and I've just been really scared. I haven't had the best experience with Maybelline. So when I saw they brought this out and I saw that it had sunscreen, I just thought that I wanted to try it because I'm super into BB creams, CC creams, and just things with SPF. I feel like the one that I use every day is this MAC Studio Fix that has SPF 15. But I saw that this one was full coverage, so I was really intrigued by how they kind of like, managed to get that. And I feel like this actually looks pretty full coverage after all my makeup is like applied. I feel like the powders blended out really nicely over top. I am noticing this little line right here. But other than that, I'm not really noticing anything else. So I'll be checking back with you guys in a little bit. And yeah, so far, I feel like it looks actually pretty good. So I'm going to come a little closer, and that way you can see how it looks like, you know, my actual skin. And I feel like it's looking pretty darn good. I feel like the finish is very, like, velvety matte. It doesn't feel really drying on my skin. It doesn't feel like it's pulling. It's not like accentuating any lines, and it doesn't feel like anything. It kind of like set, and I didn't really put powder on these areas right here. I only set my concealer, so that's pretty good. It feels really comfortable. I feel like this is something that you wouldn't even notice that you're wearing a lot of makeup. I think this is also something that you can wear if you want a sheer application or sheer coverage, and you can also build it up to looking like this, where I feel like all my blemishes are almost covered. I wouldn't say completely, because you can still see a little bit of them, but I don't think this bothers me at all. Alright, so I've had this on for 6 hours now, and I feel like it looks pretty good, but I feel like my face feels a little bit dry. I'm going to try to find better lighting so you guys can see how this really looks like. Alright, we are now in the shade, so I had this on for 6 hours, and I feel like it's starting to just feel really dry. I feel like right here, you can start to see it a little bit, how my texture is just showing up a bit. And right there as well. But overall, I'm not super disappointed. It just feels like kind of tight on this area right here on my cheeks. Like every time I smile, I can see like kind of, I don't know how to explain it, foundation, but I'm kind of not seeing that natural look that they kind of said that this had. So it is 4:30 in the afternoon. I have worn this foundation for, I think, 10 hours or a little bit over 10 hours, and I think I have a lot to say right now. First, I would just want to show you, come a little closer, and for you guys to see how it's looking. So I definitely feel like, okay, at first I was really liking this. Then I started to feel like it kind of was drying my skin a little bit. And then I feel like now it is definitely looking very dry right here on this area. Like, I'm going to come a little closer. You can tell right there it looks very dry. Right there it looks extremely dry. I feel like this side is definitely worse than this side. You can see it right there as well. Right here, it kind of feels a little textured. This right here, this lines, is from my glasses that I had them on. So I'm not really mad at that. But my face definitely became a little bit dewy. It did come off a little bit over here. And I feel like that's the only place where it came off, right there. But I don't know. I feel like as far as finish, it looks really nice. It held up a little bit okay. I feel like I'm not really mad at how it's looking, but I'm also not really impressed at how it's looking. I was really excited about this foundation in the beginning, but then I was reading the ingredients, and I kind of do my research before I even purchase something, but this is something that I was like at CVS. I saw it and I knew it was new, so I wanted to like definitely check it out and review it for you guys. So I just picked it up without even like going on the website, reading the ingredients or anything. I usually like to go for like iron oxide and titanium dioxide on my SPFs, but that is the first downfall. It's something that I could like get over, but then I saw that the fourth ingredient was alcohol, and I don't really like that. I feel like it dries my skin even more, and I do have dry skin, so that was kind of like something, I don't know, that kind of held me back. And it also has fragrance. I do own some other foundations that have fragrance, but I just feel like the combination of it having SPF and having a lot of alcohol being the fourth ingredient, and then having fragrance on top of that, and I just couldn't figure out what the smell was when I first tried it. I feel like it's something, I didn't notice anybody else saying that in their videos. I actually start watching videos just to know if anybody else mentioned it. I feel like this just smells like SPF. It's just a very strong smell, and honestly, it was kind of like giving me a headache on the first like 2 or 3 hours that I wore it, but then it like went away. I guess I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this because it actually looks pretty nice. I feel like it was a very decent foundation. It could be great for like a summer, foundation since it has SPF. I feel like it makes you look a little bit shiny. I'm going to try to insert some pictures. I took one with flash and one without, so you can tell that it's kind of looking a little bit bright on the picture, but I don't think it's like really bad with the flashback. I feel like it's actually pretty nice. I don't know. There's something that's throwing me off about it. I feel like it could dry my skin really bad, but if you do have normal to oily skin, I feel like you would really like this. Maybe you, if you have oily skin, you would probably have to blot a little bit, because as you can see, I'm looking a little bit shiny, but it's not like a shine that is like a dewy like a over greasy shine. It's just like very dewy natural, so that's nice. But it did rub off on some areas, so you have to be just mindful that this can be maybe a everyday foundation or just a casual foundation. But yeah, I feel like so far for me this was a pass, just for the fact that it's kind of dry on my skin. But I do understand if you do like this, I would totally get why, because I see it. Just the finish is really nice. It's obviously very inexpensive, and it's overall like really okay foundation, I would say. So yeah, for me, this is going to be a pass. I'm probably going to give this to one of my friends that has just a different type of skin, because it's just not mixing well with mine. And I just, you know, right here, I just don't like this whole situation. I have always stayed away from like Maybelline foundations just for the same reason. They either break me out or they dry me out. So I feel like I'm just going to try to just stay away from the whole brand altogether again, because I was really excited when this came out just because it had SPF. So I definitely wanted to try it. It's been probably like 2 or 3 years since I've tried a Maybelline foundation. So I'm just going to like, you know, stay away. This is definitely not a brand that is, you know, like directed towards me. So yeah, that's my thoughts. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you with any decision if you were thinking about getting this foundation, or just if you just wanted to see a review on this foundation today. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful, and as always, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!